At 11:04 p.m., the last passenger ferry has already docked. The terminal building empties. The gift shops are dark. But beyond the glass doors, past the ticket counters and the waiting benches, the port does not close. It shifts. There are ports that handle cargo around the clock, every hour of every day, 365 days a year. The night shift is not a reduced operation. It is a full parallel system, running beneath the surface that passengers never see. The day shift supervisor hands over a clipboard, not a dramatic gesture, a routine transfer, vessel schedules, container counts, equipment status. The night supervisor scans it in under 2 minutes. She has done this 600 times. Tonight, 3 vessels are expected. A container ship arriving from the east at 1:30. A bulk carrier delayed by weather, now rescheduled for 3:15. And a ro-ro vessel carrying vehicles already visible on the radar screen 14 nautical miles out. Port control does not sleep either. In a room above the terminal building, 2 operators manage all vessel traffic in the harbor. They speak on VHF channels. They confirm positions. They issue berth assignments. They are the air traffic controllers of the water. At 11:50 p.m., the ro-ro vessel requests pilot boarding. A harbor pilot is dispatched from the pilot station. He has piloted over 2,000 vessels into this port. Tonight is no different. He boards a small launch, rides it out into the dark water, and climbs a rope ladder up the side of the moving ship. The pilot takes the bridge. He speaks to the captain in a shared maritime language, a universal register designed for exactness. Port bow thruster, starboard engine astern. Slow ahead. The vessel begins its slow arc toward berth 7. On the dock below, the mooring team is already in position. 6 workers standing in pairs at the bow, midship, and stern. They wait in the cold. No urgency, focused stillness. When the lines come down, they move precisely, heaving hawsers onto bollards, absorbing the slow weight of the vessel. The vessel is fast within 9 minutes. The gangway is set. The ramp descends, and the vehicles begin to roll off, row by row, headlights cutting through the salt air. Each one has traveled thousands of kilometers before this moment. Each one is now being entered into a system. Every vehicle that enters the terminal is assigned a yard location, a coordinate. Row G, position 14. Row B, position 31. Drivers move the vehicles from the ramp to the exact designated spot on the asphalt grid. The yard itself is a coordinate system laid out across 17 hectares. Across the terminal yard, a different operation is already running. The container ship from the east is 40 minutes out. The crane operators are in their cabins. The yard tractors are fueled. The terminal operating system has already calculated the discharge sequence, which containers come off first, in which order, and where each one will go. The container ship docks at 1:31, 1 minute late, which, in a port operating on synchronized timing, is noted, not alarmed, noted. The pilot is already on his way back. The crane operators have their headsets on. The first spreader descends before the gangway is even secured. Each container move takes between 90 seconds and 3 minutes. That rhythm continues through the night. Lift, travel, set, return. Lift, travel, set, return. The crane operators rarely leave their cabins during a shift. Some bring sandwiches, some bring thermoses. They climb 40 meters to reach their seat. And they stay. On the ground below the cranes, yard tractor drivers collect the containers as they land. Each tractor has a screen showing the destination block. Row 14, Bay 6. Row 22, Bay 11. The driver does not decide. The system decides. The driver executes. The stacking cranes in the storage yard are automated. No operators, no human presence. At night, they move silently between rows, lifting and placing containers according to a continuously updated algorithm. If a container is needed for early morning departure, the system repositions it during the night, so it sits at the top of the stack, ready. But the system has blind spots, not failures, blind spots. A container misdeclared on the manifest, a weight discrepancy triggering a reinspection flag, a chassis arriving without the correct ISO lock. Each exception generates a task. Each task goes to a person. At 2:08 a.m., one of those exceptions lands on the desk of the night planner. The planner calls the vessel agent. The agent calls the shipper. A documentation correction is logged at 2:34 a.m. The container is cleared. The system reabsorbs it. No delay to the vessel departure. The exception lasted 26 minutes. Most passengers boarding the next ship will never know it existed. The bulk carrier has been rescheduled again. Whether at sea, it is now expected at 4 o'clock. The shift supervisor adjusts the equipment allocation. 2 of the 4 gantry cranes are reassigned to the container vessel to complete its discharge before the bulk carrier arrives. This is not a crisis. This is normal operational adjustment. While cranes move containers, a different crew is working below the waterline. The marine maintenance team inspects the key fenders, the rubber buffers that absorb the impact of arriving vessels. They work at low tide. Torchlight, cold water nearby. Fender replacement is scheduled months in advance, but inspection happens constantly. At the terminal gate, trucks have been arriving since midnight. Import containers cleared through customs during the day are ready for collection by road hauliers. The gate operators log each truck in, each truck number, each container number, each seal number. This is the moment the port system hands off to the road system. A transfer of responsibility recorded in under 60 seconds. The customs examination bay sits at the edge of the terminal. Tonight, 3 containers have been flagged for physical inspection. A customs officer and a port security agent open the container doors at 2:50 a.m. They enter with flashlights. They check the cargo against the manifest. They photograph, they record, they reseal. The port security team does a perimeter sweep every 2 hours. Foot patrol, vehicle patrol, camera monitoring from the control center. The terminal covers 40 hectares. A full patrol takes 38 minutes if everything is clear. If something is not clear, it takes longer. Tonight, one camera sector shows an anomaly. A vehicle parked in a restricted zone. A patrol unit reaches the location in 4 minutes. The vehicle belongs to a maintenance contractor who parked incorrectly during a shift change. The vehicle is moved. The anomaly is cleared. The camera log records the incident. Duration, 11 minutes. A small deviation in a large system, absorbed and reset. At 3 a.m., the terminal canteen opens for an hour. Night shift workers come in, not all at once, in rotation. They take 20 minutes. They eat. Some stand. Some sit in the same chair they have used for years. Few words are exchanged. The rhythm of the body knows what it needs. The bulk carrier arrives at 4:07, 7 minutes late. It carries iron ore, 82,000 tons. The discharge of bulk cargo is different from containers. There are no spreaders, no chassis. There are continuous unloaders, machines that extend into the cargo hold and extract the material in a steady mechanical stream. The conveyor system carries the ore away from the quay, across the terminal, through a covered belt gallery, into the storage stockpile on the eastern edge of the port. The conveyor runs at 4 meters per second. It does not stop. Along its length, sensors monitor spillage, speed, and tension. If a belt misaligns, an alarm sounds, but only once in every few thousand hours. Alongside the ore operation, the container vessel prepares to depart. Loading began at 3:10, export containers stacked and sequenced through the night. The vessel plan calculated loading order by weight distribution. Heavy containers to the bottom, lighter cargo distributed across bays to maintain stability at sea. The chief officer walks the deck after loading is complete. Every hatch cover, every twist lock, every securing point checked manually. The document says it is correct. His inspection confirms it. Both must agree before departure is cleared. This is not redundancy. This is the architecture of trust in a system that crosses oceans. At 4:45 a.m., the harbor pilot boards the container vessel for departure. The mooring lines are let go. The vessel moves slowly away from the berth. A tug nudges the stern. And then the vessel finds its own bearing. It passes the breakwater. It enters open water. It disappears into the dark. On the quay, the mooring team coils the lines. The berth is empty. The crane operators have climbed down. Equipment parks in standby rows. The terminal settles into a brief interval, 40 minutes, until the next vessel is expected. This is not downtime. This is the system breathing between operations. In the terminal maintenance workshop, a team has been working since midnight on a reach stacker, a machine used for handling containers in tight spaces. A hydraulic seal was failing. If it fails completely, the machine goes offline. Offline means a gap in terminal capacity. A gap in terminal capacity has a cost measured in berth hours, not in money. The seal is replaced by 5:10 a.m. The machine runs a test cycle. The pressure holds. The reach stacker goes back on the line before the next vessel arrives. The mechanics clean up. They do not celebrate. The job was done. The system did not notice the gap. That is the success condition. At 5:30 a.m., the horizon begins to separate from the water. Not light, not yet, just the first distinction between dark and less dark. Inside the terminal, the operations center is already transitioning. The night planner prepares the handover report. She documents every deviation, every exception, every resolution, 22 pages, 4 incidents, 0 vessel delays. The bulk carrier is still discharging. It will continue into the morning. 82,000 tons is not unloaded in a night. But the night established the pace. The conveyor is running. The stockpile is growing. The next shift will continue what this one began. Each shift a chapter, each chapter part of a longer operation. At 6 a.m., the day shift gates open at the terminal entrance. Workers arrive, some by bus, some by car. They show badges. They pass through turnstiles. The parking lot fills in under 20 minutes. There is no ceremony in this. It is simply the next rotation in a continuous human machine. The handover briefing lasts 12 minutes. Night supervisor speaks. Day supervisor listens. Vessel status, equipment status, open issues. The tone is measured. Nothing is understated. Nothing is inflated. When the briefing ends, the night shift exits. The day shift begins moving. The transition happens in under 15 minutes. The port does not pause for it. The night shift workers walk to the car park. Some will sleep until the afternoon. Some will pick up children from school in 7 hours. Some will be back in this building tomorrow night. They move through the gate without looking back. The system they kept running through the night no longer requires their attention. It belongs to the next shift now. By 7 a.m., the port is operating on its daytime rhythm. The vessel agent offices are open. The customs declaration windows have queues. The shipping company representatives arrive with documents. The same terminal that was dark and systemic at midnight now has voices, footsteps, the sound of papers and keyboards. The hidden operation has become the visible one. The passenger ferry terminal opens at 7:30. Cleaning crews have worked since 5 a.m. The floors are clean, the benches are clear, the vending machines are restocked. The first passengers of the day arrive carrying luggage, looking at departure boards, with no knowledge of what the building carried through the night. They are the surface of a system that never stopped. The portmaster conducts his morning walkthrough at 8 a.m. He has worked in this terminal for 19 years. He does not look at the cranes with wonder. He looks at them to see if anything is out of place. He knows what they sound like when they are working correctly. He knows what they look like when they are not. This knowledge cannot be written in a procedure manual. It accumulates in the body over years. Somewhere on the far side of the world, a shipper is checking a tracking system. Their container, loaded last night onto the vessel that has now left, shows status: vessel departed. They do not see the crane operator 40 meters up. They do not see the mooring team in the cold. They do not see the planner's 22-page report. They see one line of status text, and the system has worked. The port terminal does not announce itself. It operates. Every night in ports across the world, this same sequence runs. Different cargoes, different vessels, different workers, the same logic, the same rhythm, the same invisible architecture that keeps the surface world supplied, connected, and moving. There is a worker who started on the night shift here 15 years ago. He moves containers with the same reach stacker that was repaired before dawn this morning. He does not think about the global supply chain when he drives. He thinks about the grid reference on his screen. Road G, position 14. He drives there. He sets the container down. He returns. This is the work. Small, precise, repeated, essential. Tonight, the sequence will begin again. At some point after dark, the passenger terminal will empty, the gift shops will close, the last ferry will dock, and then, on the other side of those glass doors, the port will shift. The cranes will wake, the pilots will launch, the mooring teams will take position, and the night operation will begin again. This is the port terminal at night, not a mystery, not hidden for any particular reason, just operating, just functioning, just doing the work that keeps the world connected at the hour when most people have stopped looking. Under this video, there's a subscribe button. It's a small action, but it helps reveal the systems most people never notice. If you're curious about how everyday life actually functions, consider subscribing and tell us, where are you watching from? Have you ever worked behind the scenes of a system like this?